Hey everyone, welcome to the Chilling Hour, where the stories never let you sleep. My name is Daniel Mercer. I am 36 years old. I am telling this because I am the last person still breathing who knows what really happened outside of Dulce, New Mexico in the winter of 2009, and because the thing that followed me out of that desert has finally learned my name. I was never supposed to be a victim. I was an evidence technician contracted to assist the FBI on temporary assignments, cataloging, photographing, sealing, and forgetting. I didn't carry a gun. I didn't kick down doors. I believed stupidly that if I kept my head down and did my job, nothing could touch me. In New Mexico, the air lies to you. It feels clean, thin, harmless, but it hides things. I learned that when the Bureau sent me to Albuquerque field office to support a joint task force investigating a series of disappearances around the Jicarilla Apache Reservation. Officially, the cases were runaways, drifters, seasonal workers. Unofficially, the files were stamped with a red triangle I had never seen before, and a warning typed in all caps, "Do not remove from field office." We were told it was a sensitive case involving national security. That phrase gets used to shut down curiosity. It worked on me for about 2 weeks. The disappearances followed a pattern that didn't make sense. People vanished near dry arroyos, abandoned mines, and decommissioned radar installations dating back to the Cold War. No signs of struggle. No blood. No tracks. Sometimes a vehicle would be found with the keys still in the ignition, radio on, door open like the driver had simply stepped out to stretch their legs and never come back. The first body was discovered in December, after a snowstorm dusted the desert white and made the earth honest for once. A rancher found it near a fenced-off facility marked property of the United States government. Trespassing prohibited. The man had been missing for 6 months. His clothes were intact, his skin was not. I photographed the remains under floodlights while agents stood back, quiet. The skin on the man's chest and face looked peeled, but not torn, like it had loosened and slid, leaving muscle underneath pale and exposed. His eyes were gone, but there were no sockets, just smooth hollows like the face had never been meant to have them. One agent, Special Agent Ruth Calder, whispered, "Don't write this part down." She nodded at my camera as if it could hear her. When I asked the coroner how long the man had been dead, he said, "That's the problem." He showed me tissue samples under a microscope. The cells looked paused, not decayed, not alive, suspended, like time had forgotten them. That night, I couldn't sleep in my motel off Route 66. The heater rattled, the neon buzzed. At 3:17 a.m., there was a knock at my door. When I looked through the peephole, there was no one there. But the carpet outside my room was wet, and pressed into it were footprints that ended at my threshold. Bare footprints. I reported it in the morning. It was logged and ignored. Things escalated fast after that. More bodies, always near federal land. Always wrong in the same way. Then the recordings started. The FBI had seized audio equipment from a missing amateur radio operator. I was tasked with digitizing tapes recovered from his trailer. Most were static and desert wind. On one tape, at first, there was nothing. Then, faintly, a voice. It sounded like someone standing very far away, calling into a well. "Agent Calder," the voice said. I froze. I rewound. Played in words, same cadence. I brought the tape to Calder. She didn't touch it. Her face drained of color, and for the first time since I'd met her, she looked afraid. "That tape shouldn't know my name," she said. She took me into a secure room and showed me a file marked with the same red triangle. Inside were reports going back to the late 1940s. Los Alamos, White Sands, projects that started and stopped with no explanation. Personnel rosters with names crossed out so hard the paper tore. There were photographs, too. Old black and whites of men standing beside holes in the ground, perfectly round shafts descending into darkness. And things coming out of them. Blurred shapes that hurt my eyes to look at. Human silhouettes with extra joints, stretched mouths, faces like wet clay. "They found something," Calder said. "Or they made something. We're not sure which." She told me about a containment failure in 1951, about a program that tried to communicate with something underground using radio frequencies that weren't meant for human ears, about how the thing learned to answer back. They buried it, she said, or thought they did. The official stance was mass hysteria, environmental exposure, copycat crimes. Unofficially, the Bureau had formed a black unit to monitor anomalous persistence. That unit was now missing half its members. 2 days later, Calder disappeared. Her government SUV was found idling near an access road leading to an old radar station. Her badge was on the seat, her gun was holstered, the radio was transmitting. When I listened to the recording later, I heard her breathing. Calm at first, then confused. "Daniel?" she said. I nearly dropped the headphones. "Daniel, it knows your name too." After that, they shut the case down, or pretended to. Agents were reassigned. Evidence was sealed. I was told to go home, to forget, to sign papers I didn't read. But the thing didn't forget me. I started seeing it in reflections, not clearly, just wrongness. My face lagging behind my movements in mirrors, shadows bending where they shouldn't. At night, I dreamed of tunnels lined with metal and bone, of something vast pressing against walls too small to hold it. In January, I received a package with no return address. Inside was a cassette tape and a photograph. The photo showed me standing outside my motel room, taken from down the hall. The timestamp read 3:17 a.m. The tape contained only one sentence, spoken in a voice that sounded like many voices trying to agree. "We are closer now." I took the tape to a friend who worked in audio engineering. When he analyzed it, he called me pale and shaking. "There are frequencies here that shouldn't be possible," he said. "And underneath the speech, there's something else. Like movement." I went back to New Mexico alone. I don't know why. Maybe part of me hoped to end it, or maybe it was already pulling me. The radar station was abandoned, fences cut, and warning signs shot full of holes. Beneath it was a bunker, and beneath that, a shaft. The same one from the photographs, perfectly round, descending into black that swallowed my flashlight beam. As I stood there, the radio at my belt crackled. I hadn't turned it on. "Daniel," it said. "You cataloged us." I felt pressure behind my eyes, like hands pressing from inside my skull. "We wore you," the voice continued, "but you noticed." I saw then what it had been doing. It didn't kill people. It studied them, wore them briefly, badly, until the bodies failed. It learned names, habits, voices. It learned how to call. I backed away. The ground trembled. From the shaft came a sound like something breathing through dirt and wires. "You helped us remember ourselves," it said. "Come closer." I ran. I don't remember getting back to my car. I remember driving until the sun came up and the desert looked harmless again. I remember promising myself I'd tell someone, anyone. I did. Reports were filed. Doors were closed. One man in a dark suit told me gently that some truths cause more harm than silence. Last month, my neighbor went missing. His car was found with the radio on. Last night, at 3:17 a.m., there was a knock at my door. This time, when I looked through the peephole, I saw myself standing there, barefoot, smiling with a mouth that opened too wide. And from the other side of the door, in my own voice, it whispered my name. Story, the end.